video seems to that I'm looking the other way. So you're right in the middle tonight. Thank you for joining. Right, okay, let's go live over on Insta. Let's go live. Oh, wrong. Hi, Instagram. Facebook's going to kill me, I'm so sorry. It went live on Instagram twice there. Right, okay, let's see. Let's just go live with this. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining. I've lost my glasses, so we're non-glasses tonight. This is going to be fun, so if you troll me, I'll need to come back to you later. Thank you, Evie, for joining. Oh, Facebook's still turning up. Been sitting waiting. Thank you so much. Thank you for commenting. Remember and subscribe and like on YouTube. Like our video, ring the bell. Facebook, you've turned up. We've all been waiting on you. Sakes. I hope you've all had a good Sunday. I'm going to be right up to this. And just to make it worse, the lashes, they're not really lashing either. So I'm going to need to be like this to check the comments. Facebook, you've turned up. Welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. YouTube isn't live yet. We're live. We're here. That is YouTube I'm on, yeah? Someone tried to confuse me. Right, okay, we're here now. It's fine. Happy Sunday. I love my Sunday evenings now. Thanks so much, Mandy. The boys are good. I'm good. It was a little rough this morning, but I'm fine. We're here. I made it. I wasn't going to let you down. Nearly. No, I'm kidding. I have been researching all day. But first things first, all right, 3 years ago today, I did my egg retrieval. So 3 years ago today, Ezra and Rue became something. They became embryos. It's nuts, absolutely nuts. I had a great night out. Thank you for asking. Thanks, Evie, for joining. I know. I'm learning Ezra that song, Courtney Jukes. I'll let you that out, but he loves it. But I just can't shift this bloody chest infection. Hi, in muscle bra. Did you see there was an article about Jennifer Aniston and Barack Obama? You're joking. And did they confirm? We have so much to get through tonight. Thank you everyone for joining. Right, okay, so I have popped on, I think it was a Facebook one and YouTube. We're going to speak round the Idaho 4. We are going to speak round Donald Trump. We are going to speak round P. Diddy. There are updates across the board. But what I did was, because the last 2 weekends, I have went to do the lives and there's been breaking news where we've had to take things out and put them back in. So today, I made a part at the back for breaking news. All right, so while we were researching today, there has been a United Airlines flight from Houston to New York. It'd been evacuated today for an engine issue. It did show a video of an engine catching fire on the runway. Now, there's no injuries, but there's 104 passengers and 5 crew members. There's also just been another plane that's went down, I think, in the last 2 hours as well. Also, we've also got the planes that have already went down. The one in Philadelphia. The other one was a medical flight where it was unfortunately a child and a parent that was killed too. It is so sad. Bit strange that all these flights are falling out the sky all of a sudden. I'm going to dig deep with this one and I'm going to, hi Karen, I'm going to just give you what I get. So I'm going to say in advance to our wee snowflakes, listen, I love yous. I know everybody's got an opinion. You're right. But guess what? If you're that type of person, I don't know if this live is for you tonight, right? Trigger warning. It might piss you off. I'm going to give you exactly what I get. But the reason, just to say, the reason I do this is, that is why I get the validations. One validation I didn't get that I'm going to come to in a second regarding the 2 sisters in Aberdeen. I was sad to hear that they have found 2 bodies. I was convinced they had absconded, convinced it. But I've got to give you what I get because we wouldn't be doing these lives if I didn't do all these other controversial lives before it, where at first you didn't believe me. I'm cool with that, guys. I believe in my work. Which I'll give you exactly what I get, but I'm going to say to like the snowflakes, the Karens, the Darrens, this isn't your night, guys. I am really, really sorry, but this video is not for you. It really, really isn't. So if you want to take yourselves out the now, trolls, you stay in, because you love a debate, so you are in the right place. Read the room. Snowflakes need to remember they will just melt away. Listen, everybody's entitled to an opinion. Cool story, bro. Oh, thank you for joining. I just heard they found one, didn't know they found the other half. Such a shame. Also, quickly, can I just say thank you? I've had a lot of donations already for Walking for Autism. So myself and a few of my friends, we Walking for Autism. I think it's the 28th of March to the 2nd of April, 80,000 steps. It's over an 8-day period. So I have got the GoFundMe, not the GoFundMe, the link for the Walking with Autism in my link tree if you would like to donate. Obviously, we are doing a charity event at the end of the 28th of February as well. So after that, I'm going to push this more. But if you'd like to donate, I'd really appreciate it. I just think it will make a massive difference. It feels like you're doing something for especially autism, where a lot of people are affected at the moment, but they're very frustrated. So again, raising some funds for a charity that could help along the way. Let's do it. That's what I say. Hi, Heather. You're in the house. Right, okay. Are we getting started? So I'm going to start with the Idaho murders case because it is... I'll give you a little link. It's on my link tree on Facebook, but don't worry, I'll share again. But thank you so much. And I can't thank you on the page for some reason of the donation page to say thank you for your donation. So thank you. It's greatly appreciated. Right, okay, so we did do the Idaho murders way back when it first came out. And that's why I like doing the cases like that, because now we can go back. For a long while, that YouTube video probably didn't go in line with what the story was. But again, I stick to my work, I give you what I get. And now we're starting to see the predictions that we predicted in that video starting to come to fruition, the inconsistencies with the case. So what I've did is, I've had a little look. If you want to see the actual Idaho 4 murders video that I did, it's way back at the start of 2022, I think it is. But it is in my crime list, my crime stories playlist on YouTube, and it's in the link tree as well. So if you go to that, you'll be able to see that you're on the right YouTube. Right, okay. So I'm not going to go through the full case because we've already done it before. But I'll give a wee bit of a highlight to the actual case and then tell you where there's inconsistencies lie with some of the witnesses. Right, so the police were called 8 hours after the crime. Red flag, just saying. Now, Brian Koberger's, I'm going to call him Brian, all right? We're going to make it personal here because I'm going to have to mention his name a few times. Brian's lawyer said the reason his phone was pinging because he went stargazing, all right, and went stargazing often. Now, that was one of the parts of evidence against Brian Koberger, was that he had pinged in the area of the mass. Police said they returned to the crime scene at 9 a.m. in the morning. Now, it was through ancestor DNA that the police found Brian Koberger's dad's DNA. Police then started surveillance and went through Brian's his mum and dad's trash can to try and get some sort of DNA from Brian Koberger Jr. so that then they could match the DNA. They then did a cheek swab once he was arrested. So after they got that evidence, he was arrested. He has remained silent and the judge entered a not guilty plea. So he had already pledged to remain silent, which then the judge put in the not guilty plea on his behalf. A year after the murders, the home was demolished. Now, Brian's case team are trying to get the DNA thrown out as it was violated his 4th Amendment rights. So because they didn't ask for permission for his DNA, his lawyers are trying to fire that out. Now, the next hearing is the 9th of April and possibly the 10th of April. And the trial date is August 11th, 25. So when I seen those hearing dates, I was thinking, well, what are they for then, if the trial's not to August? So, we dug deep. In advance, I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong. I'm thinking of that film, Legally Blonde. That's what I feel like, going down the law route, because we have to know why these trials are taking place. We can't just wing it. So in the new order, they discussed the limine. All right, a motion in limine is a pre-motion asking the certain evidence to be found inadmissible and if not referred or offered to trial. So basically they're trying to get the evidence thrown out before it goes to trial. So that's what this hearing is about. Now, the purpose of a limine would be to prevent irrelevant, inadmissible evidence from being presented to the jury. These are a lot of big words, guys. Legally Blonde is on right now. It's a freaking sign. To avoid potential prejudice that could then arise from the evidence that is highly emotional and legally problematic, to ensure a fair administration of justice. So when's it used? Before trial, to request that certain evidence be excluded. So they're basically trying to get out the DNA of the trial. Now, if by any chance he does that, the whole case will be thrown out because the case is based on this DNA. Now, during the trial request, there's a certain evidence can be excluded before it is presented to the jury. So what they're doing is they want to try and take it out because possibly whatever they see, the more jury see it, they're then going to hold on to the DNA evidence. But if you've seen my Idaho 4 video already, you will know that I've always called it that I don't think Brian Koberger is guilty. Sorry, snowflakes, that was the first one I should have warned you. I feel like it was placed there, but the reason is, and at the time when I did the video, I hadn't dug this deep, but I've looked at forums for the last 2 years where there were younger people who were in that campus who said there was a frat party next door and a lot had went on, but it was never ever mentioned in any sort of legal document, any document at all. Also, an aunt had sent a message where she had indicated that someone's niece was involved. All those messages were never given to the police as such, or apparently not. But in the forum, it does suggest that something had kicked off that evening, which again, 2 o'clock in the morning, because the coroner has come in and said, or the forensic person who came to the crime scene said that she couldn't determine how they, or when they died or who died first, but she could determine it happened between 2 and 4 o'clock. So again, they didn't raise the alarm to noon that day, not a minute before it. Also, the 911 call is still sealed. Now, after all this time, that's pretty unusual. So the fact that that's still sealed, it makes you ask why or think, well, what's the case? Now, to do some of the contradictions, they said that Brian Koberger's footprint had been right outside the house. And it was then determined in legal documents it actually wasn't his footprint. It wasn't even his size a shoe. Let's make sure I've covered everything, but I'm dying to tell you what I think. You probably already know. But it is a wee bit deeper than the video that I did before. Right, so now it has been said that they are going to release the transcript from the closed hearing from last week. So you have to keep an eye out on TikTok, on the news, but there will be a transcript release. And I have a funny feeling there's more to that. Now, Kaylee's family have spoke out and they are not happy with the people's opinion. So they're not happy with the narrative that one of the surviving witnesses is pretty inconsistent. Obviously, they're just wanting justice. There is a video circulating at the moment on TikTok where you can see the police are approaching outside the house, the dog is outside the house, and it looks like garbage, but it looks like there's 2 or 3 people standing or sitting outside the house. And this video recently has just came to surface, probably in the last week or so, so have a look for it. Right, let me see. And it was also said that one of the surviving housemates were texting through the crime and they were relaying the crime to someone. So bearing in mind, this happened at 2, 3 in the morning, and we don't know specific timelines for this yet, but the alarm wasn't raised to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Why? If you're in, and now the reason why is the witness is saying she didn't know if it was a dream or if it was true. Trauma, I suppose, could bring that in, and I suppose if you've never experienced anything like that, I'm trying to be open-minded, then I suppose it could put you in a state of fear. But surely someone else would have raised the alarm, and the reason being, all the doors of the house was opened inside. Now, that means the surviving roommates would have seen the crime scenes, and one of the surviving roommates said they didn't even see any blood. Now, bear in mind, this was a brutal attack, which had been kept back from the media, certain details, because of how brutal it was. But if you look at the forensics reports and some of the autopsy reports, they can't even tell you how many times these people have been stabbed because how bad it was. Right, what else? There was a thing, and I wasn't going to say too much, but I suppose it's keeping it level-headed. It was said that Brian Koberger was involved in a situation in his own campus a little while before. It didn't give detail to what it was, but apparently 2 people had said that he was stalking them, and he said that he wasn't. But it was a comment that he made, and he started to be a recluse, basically, and step back from his friendship circles because of this. So apparently that's what the police went on with the stalking thing, is because something had been reported through his campus. The 911 call is sealed. Right, I think we've covered most of it. So she didn't know if it was a dream or reality. So Anne Taylor, Brian Koberger's lawyer, who is being accused of discrediting the witness statements, where she's actually, what was the one she said, about the no blood, she brought up the photographs. What she did say, though, was that obviously they need to take the DNA off, so that's what they're fighting for at the moment. I think, sadly, and it's in my video, this is going to be, again, a bit like the Luke Mitchell case. If you've not seen the case, and if you're watching in America or anywhere else, please look up the Luke Mitchell case on the James English podcast. It is on YouTube, but it's certainly a case that I feel is very like this case. The difference is, the Luke Mitchell case, they didn't have DNA. Right, okay, where are we at? Going off into separate cases here. I just want to make sure we've covered everything. Where was it? Inconsistencies. Right. So they didn't know if it was a dream or reality. The doors were open, the footprint. The surviving victim was shown photos. Oh, the surviving victim was shown photos of Brian Kohlberger. She didn't recognise him. She didn't identify him as the perpetrator in the house. What I find weird about this, here we go. Right, okay, snowflakes, definitely turn off. My loyals, get your body in your hand, get your wine in your hands, you get a cup of tea in your hands. The fact when you look at the forums, it's very, very damning. I don't know if they're still there now. It makes me think that it was an inside job. I already spoke about the white car, which again is the same as Brian Kohlberger's car, but also they had a friend whose parents had a car like that, and that boy had been kicking off that night massively. All the typical behaviours, the brutality of this murder, and again, just doing crime. What have I been doing crime for? 4 years now? Maybe a wee bit longer, in fact longer. A brutal attack like that is usually somebody you know. And again, the forensics are kind of putting that in the right direction as well, where what if, now bearing in mind, this witness, surviving witness, her name's Dylan, had said originally that she seen the person, she didn't see them, she was all over the place, obviously what the trauma she'd went through. But why, if her trauma was that bad and she was so scared, why did she sit there for 8 hours with, again, being harsh, but dead bodies around her friends, and do nothing about it? One of the other things as well is the dog was recorded barking, but the dog was still barking when the car, like they had clocked on CCTV circulating the house. When it left, the dog was still barking. So was the dog barking because someone was in, or was it because someone was still in even when the car left? Bearing in mind, their friends' parents did have the same car, and there is a lot of ways you can place that person there. But considering, when you look at the forums, that there was a frat party that took place that's not been recorded, still not been spoke about, and I will put this out as a prediction to anyone who's been involved in that, it is all going to come to a head, but it's going to come to a head in a different way, where there's going to be a lot more people being incriminated, but not just students, and I said it at the time it was students, but also staff members. It makes me think that the police and the campuses are all very much, I feel they've jumped the gun. Now, the campus sent out a message straight away to say there was a homicide, and I understand why, for safety, but to work so well with the police so quickly when they should have been more concerned about the 8-hour period before they got called, to set a timeline where what went on for 8 hours. Obviously, the police think they know what went on, but I find it very conflicting whether there is another story, Skylar, I can't remember her surname, but her 2 friends murdered her, and you see their Instagram photos and they look the best of friends, the best of friends. I am convinced the young boy who'd already kicked off earlier that evening, I'm sure he was an ex of one of them as well, he did not like the fact that he'd been pulled out the fold in some way. And again, I can only give you what I get round it, but I do sadly think that Brian Kohlberger will be charged with this. It will be an appeal that will get him off, but also it's going to be young mouse talking. And we all know one thing, being a mum to teenagers, to people under the age of 25 without being too patronising, can't hold secrets forever. You do things when you're young and you regret them later on. And I think we're going to get a lot of that coming out, but I also think the news or the admission will come out online before it's in some sort of criminality. So remember, I've said that, but I feel it's more towards 2027. I don't feel the DNA will get thrown out for obvious reasons. The DNA it was found was on like a buttonhole. What else? I think that's it on it. Does anybody have any questions before we go on to the next thing? Just ignore the scammers, just block and report them. Young and stupid, I think so. How could she? She had a balaclava on. Because body, not just a head. And I know not everybody wants to hear this, I get it, but I've got to give you what I get. I watched the Skylar case, shocking what they did. Thanks everybody for joining. The numbers are brilliant, thank you so much. Remember, give us a follow, remember, like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, do the usual. Always been a strange case, always assumed the witness was changing story, was involved somehow in cover up. You called it from day one. I really did. I remember when the story came out thinking that's a campus issue. Like, definitely. But at the beginning, because Brian Kohlberger was in the next campus, it still made sense. It was still like a validation. Until I looked into the case, when you can see the 8-hour period, I just think that's wild. And also, you've got to remember, like, it's that whole corruption where, do they want their crime to be high? Do they want to be known for their campus having a homicide? Like, and their own students did it. But I can imagine something like that doesn't stay secret forever. But then look at the Madeleine McCann case, but they're closing in on the Dabas. Hi Reese, how are you? Did you like your voice note? I came back to you. Yeah, the bodies were lying for 7 hours. And they said, one of the witnesses, surviving witnesses said, we never seen any blood. The blood was dripping out the door because all the victims had bled out because how long they were lying. But they never seen any blood. She just stood froze for 8 hours. Is that possible? I don't know. I really don't. But would you all agree that this case isn't as textbook as what the media is portraying it as? Yes or no? Feeling any better? This is my new Sunday. Must do. I love it, Hayley. I just can't shift. My throat's going to go again, but that's how I've got tea. I just can't shift it. It's my birthday. What prize did I get? I don't know. Your mom gave you the prize when she pushed you out. Sorry. Sorry. Doing so well. Love the voice note. I sent you one back. You're probably sleeping. Oh, Reese, I'll need to go back to it. I don't think it was that one surviving witness who was responsible for it. I think the frat party was responsible for it and they're covering for other people. I've always said that they won. And when I looked at the forums, and it was months and months, in fact, it was years down the line, I couldn't believe how much we had spoke about at that time was actually coming out. And another thing, they bulldozed the house. Why would you bulldoze the house before the trial? And I know they were saying it was becoming a bit of a tourist thing, but they would have protected it. Doesn't make sense. And that tells me the police and the authorities would have had to have okayed that. So what were they hiding? What did they fuck up? That they want to just push this case through because it's easier to go on that little bit of DNA than go on the actual events leading up to it. And also, they were all very, very drunk. Now, how many times have you been out with your friends and you've had an argument because you're drunk and it's maybe got a little worse because you're drunk? They are young. Hormones, fiery. We don't know what else they were taking. Right, P. Diddy's been rushed to hospital. I was coming on to that next, don't worry. I meant to say that in the breaking news. He's got a sore knee, guys. That is it. Like, genuinely, he has a sore knee. So I think, personally, it's because he's not been on his knees for that long these days. And he's been used to always been on his knees. Just my prediction. I'm not one to gossip about it, but I just... And listen, I don't do health, like I say, but I definitely feel like he's just not been on his knees enough. We'll get the Grammys tonight as well. This is going to be fun. Beyonce's up for 11 awards. Best album, there's another new prestige award. Of course there is. Beyonce, this is all your show, the Grammys. But imagine endorsing a paedophile's wife when she's standing by him. Just saying. Just saying. But we're coming on to that, don't worry. I'm ahead of the game. I've got a sore knee to get took to the hospital. But I'm coming on to it anyway. That hospital visit, first thing I got when I read it was to do with associates. So he was away talking to somebody. I still don't think he's going to win it because we'll come on to it in a second. Let's go on to Donald Trump though first. Now, if you're not into politics, I'll try and not make this boring for you, put it that way. But we need to know what's going on in the world. We have to know because guess what? It's going to affect us in the UK as well. A lot more than what we think. I hope Beyonce gets a glitch. I hope she tucks her dress into her knickers. Oh, is Jay-Z going to go? Aye, he will. He's got, I swear to God, you couldn't paint a redneck in him. Bet he's there the night. Shoulders back. It wasn't me. Yes, Tracy Thompson, it is Zoom. Or if she's on Instagram, we can do it through there. I agree, Claire Louise, but I can't say that yet because she's not getting any cases against her, so we don't want the big Queen Bee coming for me. But Jay-Z, Brushy Association. Oh, Christine, make me laugh. I hope so. I hope no one tunes into the circus. Aye, but sheep, bah, they will. Hi, Jenna. I hope you're good, honey. Right, okay, Trump. I'm not very happy with him, guys. I don't think anybody is, to be fair. But I think some of the comments he's made, and is again getting a balance in this. So snowflakes, Karens and Darns, if you've tuned in by mistake, get your cell back out. Take your cell out now. We'll give you 5 seconds. Don't want to upset MD. But we don't want to hear your opinions. I'm not thanking the Queen Bee the night and sending the Grammys it does. I'm sending you all a poltergeist. You'll no sleep for a week. Oh, I've lost what I was going to say there. What were we talking about? Too busy throwing threats at the Queen Bee. Thank you, Sheen. I look forward to your lives on Sunday. Cowboy Carter tour announced. Aye. Probably need your full month's wage to go to it. That's what happens. You're just to be feeding into that. You'll be paying into their criminal ring. That's what we'll say. Right, Donald Trump, thank you. Right, Facebook, you stop putting me off. Right, tariffs and will he's black. Christy, I don't know. I didn't know until I did my homework, but this is what I love about doing this job. Every day's a school day. I swear to God, Legally Blonde, right enough. What was her name again? Elle. We're changing my name. Elle's Readings, guys. So obviously we had the plane that went down the other day. I did pop it onto a little video. I'll just see if I've got it here, if I wrote it down. Oh, it was the 2 new indictments. Right, okay. So it was a Class B airspace, restricted area and controlled area. So effectively, it's one of the most controlled areas in America where air traffic control would have eyes on it all the time. Now, we're seeing a lot of these planes go down. Now, you could be thinking, are all these pilots corrupted? The helicopter was 200 feet further up than what it should have been. Donald Trump, which again didn't like the comments around the victims or how forward he was about the accident, more so just being a wee bit more mindful of the victims. But I kind of liked his honesty when he said, well, time investigation comes out, nobody's going to want to read it. Oh, Facebook agrees well. Nobody's going to want to read it, so he thinks that's why he was being so transparent at that time. There's obviously another 3 planes went down in that time as well, 2 within 48 hours. He's mentioned about the pilots, the attack, everything else. But in reality, it's the air traffic control. It is not any of these aircrafts. It is not anything like that at all. And again, it's just come from an airport background as well. It's like on the motorway, it's lots. It's busy up on the motorway as it up there as it is down here. But if air traffic control don't do their jobs, until it's in plain sight, the aircrafts don't see it. But also, they hold a lot of trust with the air traffic control, obviously. Aviation have come out and said not to worry, like still go on your flights, they're not concerned. I disagree. I think America's at war with America because I don't think it's an attack on Donald Trump, and it was something we predicted before he was elected. If he was elected, this is exactly what was going to happen. I truly believe these attacks are coming from previous presidents, Congress, people that he's already pissed off, which we knew was going to be the case. I've already said it. He signed his CIA death certificate. There's no doubt about that. But these attacks are obviously happening, but a lot of people are focusing on the aircraft, the pilots, what altitude they were at, when in reality, they were all probably doing their jobs right. But if air traffic control aren't doing their jobs right, and although we're hearing the recordings where the helicopter didn't show any signs that it's seen the aircraft before impact, we only heard a snippet. Just like anything online, any news at all, you can only hear a snippet. You can only take what you see as well. So I do think there's more coming out around that, but it is more, I don't know what name you would call it. It's terrorism on their own country, I feel, massively. But again, I don't know if you'd need to be psychic to work that out. Elon Musk has been, he's ready for it. Football fans, Scottish football fans, Karens and Darns, snowflakes, get in here right now. People have to know. Come on, hurry up and get in. You like this one. You can have a say in this one. You're ready for it. You're going to fall off your seat. Hold on. If you've got husbands, boyfriends, partners, aimed into football, Scottish football, turn this up. I'm not joking. You'll thank me in a minute. I get myself sick. Elon Musk, this is a rumour, is thinking of buying Rangers. Thinking of buying Rangers. I can imagine it now. Celtic, yes, I think the full Scottish Football Association should be worried. Because I think he's going to bring out robots. I think he's going to do away with the football industry. Are you all in here? Are you listening? You guys are up next. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I've got a fear of robots. So again, supporting Celtic. See if Rangers turn up and there are a whole lot of fucking robots. I'm done. I'm not even supporting any team after that. There's Jackie Roberts, now a Rangers fan. Here we go. There you go. They just programme them. They win every week. They jump in that river and come out dry, the Rangers. They're so good. I was telling Robbie before I came on. He was laughing. I think that'll be it. Robots galore. Big Elon's in there. And they'll all start talking like robots, won't they? Because then they want to be like their players. See where I'm going here? I did think that was a funny one. Somebody messaged the page, wrote it in a comment, and it was one of the first comments. I'm like, out of all the other comments, I'm going to check that out for you. Don't worry, I'll find it for you to do. Could you imagine? They're halfway there now. Big Elon keeps trying to add me in TikTok. That's hilarious. Are you a Rangers fan? Maybe he's trying to get in with the beers and that. That would be funny. That would be hilarious. But that was something I heard. Also, right, okay, this is when we get back to get serious with the wee joke, but we need to get back to, again, Legally Blonde. So, Trump's signing all these executive orders. You probably heard a lot in the news about tariffs this week with Canada and China. Where else? Mexico. So, Donald Trump has decided from Tuesday that he's adding 25% onto the tariffs for Canada and Mexico and 10% extra tax for China. I see what he did there, but he doesn't want to piss China off too much. He's going slow there. But the Canadian president has came back and said, we will respond. So they're now going to charge America. So it's turning into a tariff war. Now, you might just think, oh, that's really petty. And I don't know if it was a news reporter saying, oh, this pettiness and tit for tat for tariffs. Pettiness and tit for tat. Are you kidding on? 25%. Like, that's not nothing. Also, he has backed up, Trump's backed himself up to why he's doing this, especially with the European Union. He's decided that the fact that the Europeans not been nice to America in his book because they don't take his cars and all his farming and things like that. He's raging about it. He's raging about the deficit. So I'm not having it anymore. If you're not taking our cars and our veg, that is it. 25% tariff across the board. But now Brazil and things like that are jumping on board. So it is a prediction where Donald Trump's creating world peace only because everybody else is having to stick together. And sadly, although America's a massive country, he's kind of a one-man band a little bit. I've seen a video on TikTok, people panic buying over there. Right, okay. China said they will also have countermeasures against the USA. They did not specify what. They're also filing a lawsuit against the USA at the World Trade Organization. So China, they're like, we're not having it, Trump. And Trump, if you're out there and you're listening, you don't want to piss them off. I'm just saying, I don't feel good about that. I see where you went with the 10%, but I wouldn't go any further with that. So midnight on Tuesday, all these tariffs change. He's also threatened to level up with the European Union. He said they don't take his cars and his farmland. So he just basically thinks, I'm not giving you anything if you don't give me anything. He's changing more than any president or any world leader has ever done. The immigration is very harsh and very brutal, but he's a businessman. He's clawing back money left, right and centre. And this is why he keeps saying, I'm going to make America great again. He is convinced he's running this country on common sense. Now, I do believe a lot of other world leaders would like to do certain things that Trump's doing. Definitely not everything that he's doing, but certain things. And this is where it always takes one person to rock the boat, and it usually doesn't go down well. But I honestly think the next 4 years you're going to see all the other countries, which they already are. Canada's already said, nah, well, we're getting tariffs. Everything's going to become much fairer, but also everything's going to go back to everybody's own countries, local produce. There's a lot of good to come in around this, but he did put a statement out, and please know I'm not a Donald Trump supporter by any means, but he did put a statement out to say America's going to feel pain now, but they'll basically have success later. I tend to agree with him. He is shaking up the world where he's making sure that everybody's back in their own country. The UK, we're out hanging out their arse. That's the reality. We don't want to upset them. So we just do what America tells us. Whether every other country's like, this isn't right. I think we'll stay like that for a bit, but I don't see us getting into bitter words with America anytime soon. But I do see Elon Musk causing a problem to the UK. Maybe Scottish football. I'm kidding. I don't see that. Rangers, if you're watching, it's alright. I wouldn't even put that on news. We definitely need a fairer system. And that's the thing what I'm trying to say. I do feel there is going to be a fairer system coming in. Right, okay. Is that everything with Donald Trump? I did see a thing on TikTok saying he was going to get assassinated on the 14th of February. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think they would be worried who came into power next. I got psychically the other staying still and doing nothing. I'd much rather buy your own. Natasha, I feel so, yeah. Any more of the lockdown, I've seen massive being suggested, so I've already popped it on a prediction video. I feel very strongly about it. Don't be scared to put a mask on and don't be embarrassed by doing it. You're protecting yourself. Unless you want to be unwell, and if you don't trust just now, because I did see a thing, I don't want to start this, but I may as well. I did see a thing where the wildfires in America, they are blaming the drones and the laser. And apparently, like, I know some of you have wrote it in the comments, I can't remember the name of the project, but it's to basically revamp LA. So that's why the trees weren't burning. They were lasering out the places where it basically dies quickly. I was going to put it all into live and dive deep on it, but I'm going to be honest with you, I really didn't understand it, where I'm like, I don't really want to start speaking too much into that because I don't understand if that's true. I do get there's definitely propaganda behind it, and I do get there's some sort of action behind it as well. What did I say to you about football predictions, Linda Douglas? I'm not making any predictions. Well, I suppose I am in a sense, but it's a wee funny one, Linda. Imagine Elon standing cheering the Bears on. Also, I think I covered it anyway, but there was an airline tonight and it was going Houston to New York, from Texas to New York. New York is I've said it already in one of the lies, is a breeding ground for something just now. Is it just me, or do we think it's a bit weird that P. Diddy's went down, Trump's became president, all the hierarchy are falling, and even the person that I've spoke before and before, we don't know who is in charge, I feel they're falling at this point as well. But why is that? Something's happening and we're not picking up on it. Right, okay, so April the 9th and the 10th for the Brian Kohlberger trial. I'll keep you updated with it. There is another hearing on March the 17th as well. But the main ones are April 9th, April 10th. Covered everything about Trump. Right, let's get into P. Diddy. Have we got enough time? Ah, we're cool. Right, okay. He's a big hypochondriac, Tim. He'll be missing the Grammys tonight. I bet he was trying to get to the hospital. You can see, get me a bit of the buffet. Susan Black, I'm not saying it. I can't. 2025 is the year of the reveal. 2025 is the year of the snake. Shedding the skin. I don't take Keir Starmer stepping down. I've done so many videos on that at the start when he was elected. He's a wartime Prime Minister. He wants to be. Right, okay. So he was rushed to hospital. It was just his wee knees. I just obviously it may be part of his fitness regime that he's always been in his knees and he's not had the chance to do it. I can imagine he'll be doing two things at once, you know. Right, so he was rushed to hospital. One of the new indictments is trafficking 3 women. So originally, it was only 1 victim. So the 2 new indictments that have come in are still racketeering and trafficking. But there's another 2 victims now. Now, the indictments, the charges aren't any different. But also, he has actually put a civil case against Courtney Burgess, the attorney and News Nation. Now, Courtney Burgess is the person who published the Kim Porter memoir. He's also a witness in the criminal trial. But Diddy's lawyers have went for 50 million, saying it's all false. But it's a civil case. Now, again, that'll probably get thrown out when it becomes criminal for the reason that the other 2 victims, now Diddy's, I hate using that, Diddy's, what a word. Now P. Diddy's team have got to fight off 3 testimonies, not just 1, but 3. And the fact there's multiple women now saying that, well, the 3 in particular named are in the case, of 2 has not been named. I'm presuming 1 is Cassie, the first victim. It's going to be much, much harder for P. Diddy's legal team to do this now as well. Obviously, there's a documentary out. I've not had a chance to watch it yet. I did see Jag, you're right, she wasn't very chuffed with it. I think she was a bit annoyed that she wasn't mentioned, but I feel that might say a little something about her character as well. Worth the watching. But he had obviously made a lot of allegations, and he could also identify certain substances that were throughout that, so I'm sure he's within the criminal investigation as well now. So it's multiple victims, which will strengthen the case, and lawyers will have to fight off the testimonies. Have I covered that part? I have, what was the other thing? The Grammys, Beyonce's 11 awards. And this new Prestige Album Award, I presume she's going to get them. But anybody that thanks her on the Grammys tonight, I'm sending you a poltergeist. And you'll not sleep for a week. And you will know. Just feel the back of your neck. It might feel a bit tough. That's when you know it's attached to you. Love the way you said that, just in your knees. I saw someone relate the aviation problems to the Pope and his portals. I think it's air traffic control. And do you know what? I'm all about the spirituality in that, but I'm really, really, really more inclined to say it's air traffic control. And I do think you've got to remember, okay, this is terrorism. And terrorists want to cause fear and alarm and hysteria. And if you look at America right now, someone commented saying that they are panic buying. My heart breaks for American people right now. There was one lady who literally was bumming Trump up, like voted for him round the first election, did it with the second one, telling everybody to vote for him. Now she's lost all her benefits for her 6 kids. She doesn't have any money. So she was telling everybody to vote for him. So people were misled, they were missold in this campaign. I said it at the time, the TikTok thing was a big thing where it was going to make it a smooth transition for the inauguration. What if they did that so that then it was a less risky assassination because he was on America's side that day? He hadn't signed any of the executive orders, but after that, he then became a little arsey when he was signing them all. He started with the TikTok one to smooth everything over. That's what you call a shit sandwich. Is someone hijacking air traffic control like the systems they're using? I did say at the start of the year and the end of last year, cyber attacks. And you automatically think a cyber attack, Barclays today, things like that. And cyber attacks can be people taking on jobs so that they can do that. Now, bearing in mind, people who are involved in terrorism, they don't just wake up one day and make a rash decision. Everything is pre-planned. Everything. They're radicalised. So again, there's going to be more of it coming out, but it's so sad because it's America against America. Similar in the UK, 100%. I always say it. I don't think people realise how protected we are with our services for anti-terrorism, especially in the UK with our airports and things. Just because you don't read it doesn't mean it's not happening. I worked at the airport for years, 8 years ago. You've got no idea how many preventions happen every single day because people work hard for intelligence. When you walk into the airport, if you don't already know this, it is facial recognition. As soon as anyone walks into the airport, your face is scanned. But it's for all these reasons a terrorism, because just because we don't speak about it, we're still on a very, very high level. America, especially with everything going on with Trump, and this is the point I'm trying to make with when we're watching it in America, don't get comfortable and think it's not going to affect here. It's going to affect the economy here. It's going to affect the relations here, but again, with world leaders, which is going to cause a lot of tension, because the UK are known for hanging out America's arse. They are their allies, and that is just how it works. And that's going to make the UK people angry as well, because it then looks like we are siding with Trump when we don't have a say either. I seen somewhere that Trump sacked a lot of air traffic control just days before the crashes. Not sure if it's true. I would be inclined to say that the air traffic control thing is against Trump. It's not that he's doing it, it's against him. It's trying to, again, fear hysteria. But again, that comment would still actually make sense, Stacey, wouldn't it? Revenge. I agree with you on that, Natasha. But TikTok is a very toxic app as well. I wasn't going to mention it, but since it's in your comments, it just mentioned TikTok. I've seen some disgusting things in TikTok in the last few days. Very, very disgusting things around a child that was deceased, and this wee child's photo was going everywhere, from a lady who has her child and she's on the run from the UK social services. I've never made an opinion on this lady's account, because I've always truly believed you don't know, and if she's genuinely trying to keep her wee baby safe and just... But this girl has made so many errors in her social media that she can't even defend this as she tries. But my question is to the UK, why is she still on the run with that child then? We're watching this play out in TikTok. It's absolutely disgusting. If you see the videos, please report them. But also, look at all your content creators that are clapping back at trolls. Trolling is getting worse because people are giving it energy, but the sad reality is, that's their content. Look at every creator you're following. Are they bringing their content to the table, or are they just clapping back at trolls? If they're just clapping back at trolls, is that a content creator? Or is that just another troll trolling themselves? It was so sad and vile. I seen somebody say about that girl, which, again, it's going to sound, I don't know. I seen somebody say, oh, she doesn't deserve a platform, or it was another creator, is it Alpha Bar or somebody? I don't really know who they are, right? But they don't deserve a platform. I know this person's really bad as well, but I'm like, you're a content creator and you think you've got the right to come on a platform and say someone else doesn't deserve a platform. Go on with your content, do your content, make it fun for people. But when people are constantly jumping in bandwagons, it doesn't make you any better than them. Some of the biggest content creators, especially Scottish content creators recently, that's all you see. Stop clapping back and then just enjoy your content. Do what you're great at. Why your followers followed you, but they've all lost their way. All lost their way. It's all became judge and jury, and again, just people being so freaking fake that everybody sees right through them, and that's why they end up becoming trolled. It's nuts. Keep it real. No, you're no. I've seen that. Or the last one I'll say on it, justifying yourself. Like, totally justifying it. Well, I'll just tell you then, stop reading shite about yourself and just don't justify it. Like, stop giving it energy. Play anyone, TikTok, anyone can get paid. No, I'm all about that. I think everybody's got the right to make some sort of money in social media. That's not the issue. It's just, again, I suppose what they're influencing as well. A lot of them always go back to creators and think, are they still using that product? Are they still using 9 times out of 10 they're not? That's what tells you. The arguing are very unkind. But you what? See, if you're looking at these creators and every day you're watching that, you're going to become like them, because that will drain you. You become a fucking moaning money. I'm like, you wouldn't stand at the school dates and tell your daughter's or son's parent that and talk with all the mods at the school gate about it, so wrap it. It's just horrible. TikTok as a whole. But what must come up must come down, and I've predicted it. Give it to August, and again, I've said it already, in America it's not a constitutional right to make money in TikTok. It's the exact same here. But also, as soon as anything happens in America around TikTok, it will hit here straight away. And I feel like New Zealand and Australia will go first, to be honest with you. definitely. Of course, everyone to eat just should be more strict with scammers, etc. You just got to be very careful. And always remember, no content creator on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram would ever really contact you first. If you were wanting to contact them, you'd message them, but nobody goes out their way to contact people because of the scammers. They're desensitised, 100%. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have you enjoyed that tonight? Have I covered everything? The Grammys, that'll be interesting. I'll keep a wee post up about that. She wins, you'll hear me. I'm telling you. She'll be getting home with all sorts of poltergeists tonight. Thank you for all your lovely comments. Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. Here we go. I need to take these lashes off. I'm so sad. I went to get my lashes done. And Josie was like, you need a break from them. I was like, listen, the only break I'm having here is a Kit Kat. But she was like, you need to get castor oil and just give them a wee break. So, what? The night. I've got to take them off. So see if MD hits out this week. Christy, you look dead tired. You look dead tired. Wrap it, all right? I've got to have a break. Otherwise, I won't be allowed to get them done for my show. So, Josie, if you're watching, I'm going to take them off. Maybe the night or tomorrow. Oh, I wanted to feel sad about it. It's like your eyes are naked when you take them off. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed your Sunday night. Remember, again, across the board, do your thing. I'm on Snapchat as well. If you're on Snapchat last night, you'll know. Thank you again. And I'll be back next Sunday. Am I going to be live before then? I'm pretty busy. Oh, I'm going to do the daily cards after this. What am I saying? 4 cards for £10. Oh, they're downstairs. I send them over. My regulars know anyway, but if anybody wants to book, just PM Instagram or Facebook. You're already doing it already. Give me a minute just to get out of here and shut everything down. Admin will come into your mails and I will sit here and start sending over your cards. Thanks again. YouTube, you're at the bottom as always. You always show up. Same with Facebook and Instagram. I'm so glad I've put it on Facebook as well. And I hope you all enjoy your Sunday. Remember, the Zen Den is on tomorrow night at 7. It is a free class. It's about the law of attraction. So if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. I've also got the Walking for Autism. I will pop the link up tomorrow morning. What else? I think that's us. But happy Sunday. Stay safe. Take care. And I'll see you all soon.